Hello?
Avila's here. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Are we live yet? Echo is horrible.
I can only see the two ladies right now being on, and staff. And that, yeah. They're not. So is everybody on?
Not everybody.
Well, it's not time yet anyway. Wow, it's so nice to see people at the tables out there this time.
I wish I was there. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Vice Mayor. For those of you who are on, we've got one of our colleagues with some technical difficulties that we're getting wrapped up, and we'll get started. Oh, he just popped up.
Okay, bye-bye.
Be careful with technology, right? Got to be Shelley. So are we ready? All right. Are they all unmuted? Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. It is 3:03 p.m., and I'd like to call the City of Homestead Committee of the Whole meeting to order. Due to COVID-19, this will be a virtual Committee of the Whole meeting. The city has accepted public comments as part of the meeting, and those comments will be made part of the record. For the record, all members of council, the vice mayor, and the mayor are present. Madam Manager, are there any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. We have the next item of business, tab 1, the approval of the March 10, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Do I have a motion for approval?
Move it.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Seconded by, I believe, Mr. Fletcher. Are there any comments or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
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 Need a few more ayes out there.
Aye.
There we go. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Next item, tab 2, motion to place car number 2850 on the council agenda, the purchase of the CYBRARIUM furniture, fixtures, and equipment from various vendors. Is this you, Madam Manager?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This item, Mayor, is for spending authority for the purchase of the furniture, fixture, and equipment, the FF&E for the CYBRARIUM. Included with this car is the list of items with corresponding prices for all items to go into the CYBRARIUM. Staff worked in conjunction with the operator of the Library Systems and Services, LS&S, to develop the list of what is needed to run a library. The list was created pre-COVID, and as such, as time passes, we will make any adjustments as needed to create a safe environment, including any adjustments to the purchase. These prices were obtained via an RFQ, which also went out to local vendors. Also included in the item is a list of potential contracts on which we can piggyback to purchase most of the items. It's an extensive list, as no one vendor will be able to supply all items, and it also allows us to get the best price. There is one item that is a sole source, that is the automated laptop tablet self-checkout station. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the City Manager to purchase fixtures, furniture, and equipment from various vendors for the Homestead CYBRARIUM in an amount not to exceed $900,000.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Now, for clarification, this amount was budgeted in the process for the October 1 budget. Is that correct? Am I
Yes,
reading
this is
correctly?
included in the budget for the CYBRARIUM, yes.
These were already set aside?
Yes.
All right. Have any questions from council? I'll just go down the line. Councilman Shelley?
No questions.
Councilman Fletcher?
No additional questions.
No questions? Councilman Fletcher?
No questions.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Fairclough-Staggers?
No questions, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Roth?
No questions.
Councilwoman Bailey?
No questions right now, thank you.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Avila?
No questions, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you all. I will entertain a motion for approval of this item.
Move it.
Moved by, was that the
I
Vice
second.
Mayor? Did the Vice Mayor move that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to be sure. And do we
Okay.
have a second?
Second.
We have a second, I believe, by Councilwoman Bailey. Are there any further comments from council? None appearing. We'll just go down the line and do a roll call vote. Councilwoman Avila? Councilwoman Avila? We need to do a voice vote.
I'm in favor, thank you.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough-Staggers?
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Next item, tab 4, motion to place car number 2889 on the council agenda, the Florida Department of State Public Library Construction Program grant application. Madam Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to submit a grant application to the Florida Department of State Division of Library and Information Services for $500,000 for the city's public library project, the CYBRARIUM. This grant requires a $500,000 in matching funds. It's subject to a formal grant agreement that will be brought back to council for final approval if awarded. This, Mayor, and the grant in the next item are both grants that we have applied for in the past but not ranked high enough. Funding didn't reach down to us, but we will be persistent and keep on trying. And the matching funds will be funds that are already spent in the CYBRARIUM.
Right, thank you. That's a question I had. As I read this, monies that we have already expended can
Yes, sir.
be counted toward
Yes.
our dollar-for-dollar match. Now, if this were awarded, is this eligible to be used as an offset to the 900 we just approved, or is this above and beyond that?
That's a good question. I'm not sure of the answer. We can follow up and find out. We'll bring it back to you. It's a good question.
Just curious. Okay, I'll reach out to council for any questions. Vice Mayor Fairclough-Staggers, any questions or comments?
No questions or comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Roth?
No questions.
Thank you. Councilman Fletcher?
No questions.
Councilwoman Bailey?
The only question I had was the same one that was just answered, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Shelley?
No questions.
And Councilwoman Avila?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Nothing further then. I will entertain a motion to approve this item.
Move it.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Bailey. Have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and second for approval. I'll do a voice vote now. Councilwoman Avila? Councilwoman?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bailey? Councilman
Roth,
Roth?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley. Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers,
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes, thank you. Motion carried.
Motion carries.
Next item, tab 4. Motion to place car number 2890 on the council agenda, the Florida Division of Cultural Affairs Cultural Facilities Program Grant Application. Madam Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. This also is for the CYBRARIUM. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to submit a grant application to the Florida Department of State Division of Cultural Affairs for $500,000 for the city's public library project, the CYBRARIUM. This grant requires $1 million in matching funds. The grant is subject to a formal grant agreement that will be brought back to council for final approval if awarded. And again, this would be money spent, Mayor, and we can find out the same answer to the question you had on the prior grant.
Sure. Thank you. And again, to clarify for the public that may be listening or watching later, this is only the approval of an application. This is not committing to a hard commitment and a receipt of a grant, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This is solely approving the application for grant funding from the state of Florida.
That's correct, Mayor, yes.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from council? All right, we're gonna assume there are no questions if no one chimed in. I'll entertain a motion to approve this matter.
Move it.
Been moved. Do we have a second? We have a second. I'm clerk. Roll call vote.
Councilman Roth,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey, Councilwoman Avila,
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers,
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, tab 5. Motion to place car number 2899 on the council agenda, the proposed amendment to the CDBG 2019-2020 action plan for the CARES Act COVID funds. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This item and the item that follows are both related to changes to our CDBG program due to COVID. On June 19th, 2019, the council adopted the fiscal year 2019-2020 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Action Plan and submitted the plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for approval. On March 13th, 2020, President Trump declared a national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus disease outbreak. As a result, HUD, through the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, has allocated to the city an additional $484,742 in funding for COVID-related expenses and/or programs. Grantees receiving CDBG CV funds are advised to amend their action plans as soon as possible and not to wait for the pending Federal Register notice, which may provide additional waivers and alternative requirements. Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to submit an amended community development block grant action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for expenditure of CDBG coronavirus-related funds for $484,742.
Thank you. And to clarify, these amounts have already been awarded to the city pending our amendment to our plan.
That's correct, Mayor. They've been awarded. Yes.
Reflecting how these specific COVID monies will be expended.
Yes.
For prior expenditures at this point.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Okay, do we have a motion? Councilman Roth?
Hello? Yes, thank you. Just a question. Some of the stuff I read where some of the actions included the curfew because the public facilities were closed, enforcement of access to parks, and additional city efforts, federal, state, and county, private. Does that take into consideration having to expend funds for remote working from home technology and equipment that was or may have been required?
Councilman, I'm not sure I understood. You were breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure if I understood the question. I think you're asking if the funds were able to be applied to measures that we took for the curfew indoor parks closing, and also if we had to spend money related to any IT items. Is that correct?
First, as like you, we hear an echo out here. So I hear what I say in a delay, so it makes it hard to communicate. I don't know if you guys are sitting in council chambers, but the volume of the sound coming across, at least where I'm hearing it, is very distracting.
Is this any better?
I'll talk and we'll see. It's a little bit softer, yes.
There
But my
we go.
question is, when we had to get people out of the city hall for social distancing, remote working, whatever, we had expenses involved in that we wouldn't normally have incurred. Does this help us to recapture some of those funds as well?
Yes, I understand your question, and we can hear you much better now, so I'm hoping you can hear me as well.
I hear you fine. It's the echo after I speak.
Okay, but we heard you just fine now. And whatever we can relate to expenses that we had related to COVID, we can use these monies. It's a rather complicated and thorough accounting of everything that we've done, but pretty much any money that we've spent, we'll be able to use these monies.
Okay, do you think it would be prudent to list those as part of this executive summary?
Well, we have these particular dollars, the $484,000 has already been meted out to cover the administrative costs as well as utility and rental assistance and police overtime, as you alluded to earlier with the question about the curfew.
I just think we need to note everything that we've spent in response to the COVID virus so that we don't get left out of any additional monies that we might be able to capture in the future.
We're keeping every department and everything that we're doing, we're keeping extensive notes in that regard. We are hoping that not just through CDBG, but potentially FEMA will be reimbursed for many of the expenses that we've incurred.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Roth. Anything further from council? All right, do we have a motion to approve this item?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Roth. Moved by Councilman Roth. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Have a second? All in favor? Well, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk, if you do a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila?
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is tab 6, motion to place car number 2900 on the council agenda, which is an amendment to the CDBG Citizen Participation Plan. Madam Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, Congress and the Department of Housing and Urban Development are allowing for a number of waivers to the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act Fund Program for fiscal year 2019-20 and fiscal year 2021. Among these waivers is the permission to amend the Citizens Participation Plan to allow for faster administration procedures, such as a truncated public comment period from 30 to 5 days, allowing for the quicker deployment of CARES Act funding. Staff recommends that the Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the City Manager to amend the Community Development Block Grant Citizens Participation Plan to allow for faster administrative procedures due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you. Any questions or comment from council? We have a motion to approve.
Move approval.
Moved by Councilman Fletcher.
Second.
We have a second. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Fletcher,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey, Councilwoman Bailey,
Yes.
Councilman Roth,
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers,
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, tab 7, motion to place car number 2872 on the council agenda, which is for the purchase of various vehicles for the Homestead Police Department. Madam Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase 2 Dodge Chargers and 1 Chevy Traverse from Allen J. Fleet Sales, all 3 with emergency equipment from Strobes R. Us for a grand total of $92,281. These purchases are in accordance with Sourcewell, formerly NJPA, Contract 2020-120716NAF, and Broward County Sheriff's Office, Contract 18006AG. This project is not part of the city's capital improvement plan, and in order to ensure that local vendors had an opportunity to participate in this purchase, procurement issued a request for information to local vendors, and no responses were received. Mayor, these vehicles that are being replaced have all experienced mechanical failure, and to repair them would be greater than their value. 2 of them are 10 years old, 1 of them is 8 years old. They all have over 100,000 miles. And the money is coming from existing money that we did not spend when we were going to have lease payments for marked vehicles, but there weren't enough marked vehicles in inventory from the dealerships or from the manufacturer. So the money is there, and these are much-needed vehicles for the police department.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Questions or comments from council? We have a motion to approve.
Move it.
Moved by Councilman Roth.
Second.
We have a second. I believe that was Councilman Fletcher. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher,
Yes.
Councilman Roth,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers,
Yes.
Mayor Losner.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, motion to place car number 2839 on the council agenda, purchase of commercial and residential refuse containers and compactors. Madam Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The Solid Waste Division purchases roll-off containers, dumpsters, and super cans annually for the new residential and commercial customers, as well as for the replacement of damaged containers throughout the city. Award of these contracts will result in a savings of $8.35 per super can, as well as providing for lower purchase costs for both roll-off containers and dumpsters. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into agreements with Otto Environmental Systems North America, Inc., Iron Container, LLC, IES Sales and Services, LLC, Doracast Products, Inc., Schaefer Systems International, Inc., Waste Quip Manufacturing Company, LLC, for the purchase of residential and commercial refuse containers and compactors. Purchases will be made on an as-needed basis within the established department budgets. And the reason we're going with so many different companies is because it gives us the flexibility to get the best price, because this is an as-needed purchase. These purchases are in accordance with the City of St. Petersburg bid number 7484, refuse containers and compactors, commercial and residential.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? No questions or comments from council on the purchase of the refuse containers? Now, as I understand it, this is for replacement. This is not in anticipation of new homes coming online.
It would also be for new homes if there was a need. Once they ordered the service, then we would have them in place for any new homes, but also for replacement.
Right, but these amounts and these numbers won't begin to fulfill the need for what we talk in terms of about 1,200
For
homes under
what's coming?
construction. Yeah, for what's coming.
Well, these amounts are also augmenting supplies that we already have. And because we had the agreements with so many different companies, we can get them as needed. So if there was a need for more, we could order more.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from council? Do I have a motion to approve this item?
Move it.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I'll second it. All right, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. And moving right along to tab 9, a motion to place car number 2906 on the council agenda, the Brightview settlement. Is that you, Mr. Pearl, or is that the manager?
Yes, yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, on January 2nd, 2017, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. On January 2nd, 2017, Janice and Fabian Hing alleged that they were involved in a motor vehicle accident at or near the intersection of Waterstone Way and Northeast 8th Street, caused by a royal palm tree that fell in their car. At the time of the accident, Brightview Landscape Services was responsible for maintaining the tree that was alleged to have caused the accident pursuant to bid number 2011-27, the Landscape Maintenance Agreement. Following the accident, the Hings filed a lawsuit against the city and Brightview, case number 2018-016705. Following negotiation, the city filed cross-claims against Brightview seeking indemnification for the cost of defense incurred by the city during the defense of the lawsuit pursuant to the indemnification provisions of the Landscape Maintenance Agreement. Brightview has agreed to pay to the city of Homestead the total amount of $75,000 in exchange for the city executing a general lease and extinguishing its claims against Brightview related to the accident and lawsuit. Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the attached resolution authorizing settlement of claims.
Thank you, Mr. Pearl. Any questions from council? Do we have a motion to approve the settlement?
Move approval.
Moved by Councilman Fletcher. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you, Councilman Roth. Second from Councilman Roth. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers? Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And the final itemized agenda item, motion to place car number 2907 for temporary busway stop concrete slabs. I guess back to you, manager.
Thank you, Mayor. On September 3rd, 2019, the city issued purchase order 192534 to Mag Oak Inc. in the amount of $24,920 for the construction of 3 temporary bus shelters on Maury Drive and the county busway. During construction, additional work was required by the County Public Works Permit Department in order to complete the project, resulting in an additional $5,755 expense. Mayor, these are the city temporary bus shelters that we built to accommodate users of Homestead Station in anticipation of the BRT station. And staff recommends that the mayor and council authorize the city manager to approve an amendment to the existing purchase order 192534 issued to Magluck Inc. for an additional $5,755 for a total of $30,675. And we're bringing this now. This final bill has not been paid, but the final permitting was completed just in the last couple of weeks. So we want to final out the project.
So, to clarify, this is one of our projects, but the county imposed additional requirements to cause this expense?
Yes, the county was involved very much in this project because it was built on the county busway. So once the plans went in, there were additional improvements to the landscaping around it and the size of the slab, so it costs more than we initially anticipated.
Okay, very good, thank you. Any questions or comments from council? We have a motion to approve.
Move it.
Moved by
Second.
Councilwoman Bailey. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila?
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers?
Yes.
Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you all. That concludes the itemized portion of the agenda. And I would now ask Vice Mayor Fairclough Staggers if she has any further business or comments or questions.
Another smooth meeting. No further business on my end.
Thank you. Councilman Roth?
Nothing further.
Thank you. Councilman Shelley?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bailey?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Avila?
Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Fletcher?
Nothing additional. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. The only question I have for the body is whether or not I'd like staff to, if you're amenable to going forward, I would like to resume the moratorium workshops we've been having, potentially as early as next week. I would anticipate that no matter what approvals we have, we'll still have a remote meeting, but I'd like to get that moving again if it is the will of a majority of the body to begin working in that direction. And we'll have, if so, we'll have the clerk and the management staff and coordinate with Mr. Cordino to set a meeting for probably, next Wednesday or Thursday?
Next Wednesday or Thursday, and hopefully maybe a 5:30, a later meeting, and staff is ready.
Right, 5:30 in the afternoon. Councilman Roth, did I see you needed to speak?
Well, I didn't need to, but I will. I think due to the fact that we are having some issues technically, and the moratorium is not a priority, I don't think at this time. I think we should hold the meetings off until we are able to meet together in the same room to allow equal access to the public as well.
Thank you, Councilman Roth. Any further commentary in opposition to continuing with these with the moratorium meetings? Oh, there's no.
Mayor?
Yes.
I have to agree that it's very distracting and very, it really interrupts our train of thought when we're trying to speak over this platform. So if we're going to be continuing with the virtual meetings for the moratorium discussions, that's going to be a challenge.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Fletcher?
Yeah, I think we might, I don't know if we'll be able to use this particular platform, but maybe a conference call might work better than that particular process. I believe would negate the technical issues that we're currently having.
Thank you. And it's my understanding that there's been concern about some security issues early on. I've been, part of meetings on numerous platforms, and my perception seems to be that Zoom is a more user-friendly platform, and you can have any number of participants at any given time, and certainly signal the moderator as to someone's desire to chime in. Any thoughts from staff on that?
Mayor, I would just like to ask the council members with regard to this platform, were there the same concerns when we did the actual council meeting? Because that was a little bit of a different program.
The council meeting was much better.
I thought so too. I think just my perception sitting here this close in time is the council meeting seemed to flow much better. Are you all hearing an echo though? It may be that we're all located in chambers, and without a lot of people in chambers, you all are hearing an echo. Is that an issue?
I think we hear you all well, but it's on our phones that we have an echo.
Correct. It's whoever's speaking over the phone call is extremely echoey.
And did that happen during the council meeting as well, or that was better, as there was not an echo?
I can't recall if there was an echo specifically, but there may have been a slight echo, but not as bad as this.
Okay.
I heard an echo at the last meeting.
All right, well, we'll put it off another week at least, and we'll see what some of the restrictions are, and if we can perhaps come back here and social distance. I certainly have full sympathy for those of you who aren't here. I have the luxury of being here in chambers, and I can see everyone's icon, and pretty much here you all may not have that luxury. So, from that standpoint, I do not agree that it is not a priority, but that if we're going to do it, it needs to be in a manner that's comfortable to most of us and gives the public the ability to chime in contemporaneously with us. So, as was the case a month ago, this is an ever-changing situation, and we'll come back and revisit this next week as the restrictions are potentially loosened.
Okay.
I want to say, I think we're all waiting anxiously for some word from the county as to what may be put in place or.
I don't know why I can't hear the mayor right now.
Or loosened up on. Can you hear me now?
It just comes, fades in, fades out.
Okay. I'll try again. As I understand it, the county has submitted a reopening plan to the state. And until such time as that plan is approved, the county is not going to make any of those details public so that the most accurate information is out there and business owners and others don't react based upon inaccurate information. So certainly as soon as we have that, it will be distributed by all means that we have possible to each and every business and resident to the best of our ability. Anything further, Madam Manager?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Move it.
We have a motion, and I'll second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Thank you all. Hope to see you soon.
Aye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for using